Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Tuesday Math Up problem. And last week we were looking at the meaning of subtraction and the different ways that we can do subtraction. This week we've got a little bit of a different problem. We're looking at a grade 3-4 missing number focus task. And the question reads, to show the number of math questions completed by his students, Mr. Duff made a table. In total, his students completed 534 questions in 3 months. How many questions did his students complete in October? And we can see in September they did 124. In October, we're not sure. November, we did 254. And then it says, show your work. And so right off the bat, when I look at this, I want to pull out the keywords. First one that jumps out at me is in total. In total, his students completed 534 questions in 3 months. So I know that's kind of that overarching or total that I'm looking to find at the end. And so if I come over to my smart notebook, I'm going to have something similar to this, where 534 is my total. I also know, however, that this is the portion that I'm looking for, but it's not all of it because it does give me some information. Some of the information I have is the 254 and the 124. So in reality, I'm only looking for this portion here. Now, when it says show your work, it gives me the choice of a lot of different ways of solving this. I could once again complete this using a number line. I could use it completing the 100 chart. I could use base 10 concepts again. I could actually add up rather than subtract. So in other words, I could take 254 plus the 124, add something to finally get up to my 534, or I could do the reverse, where I would take 534 and subtract from these numbers. Traditionally, from an algorithm standpoint, I think most students would take the 534, then subtract the 254, subtract the 124 to get the answer, or they may add these two numbers together and then subtract that from the 534. But I'm not going to do any subtraction at all this time. I'm going to do this from a base 10 concept, kind of along the lines of a number line as well, but I'm simply going to add all the way up. And so I'm going to turn my screen here a little bit so you can see what I have set up. And so once again, I'm using my objects that I kind of have lying around the house. My trusty kidney beans once again. Great thing about kidney beans, they can sit in the cabinet for months on end, never go bad as long as you don't cook them. And so they make for great counters when I'm doing these kinds of things. And so I'm going to use the kidney beans, as my hundreds values. My honeycombs, my daughter left some for me still, so I'm going to use my honeycombs for my tens. And I got some straws, so I'm going to use some straws here for my ones value. And so what I've done is I've already laid out the numbers. Here's my 254, 254 straws, 124 straws, and I need to get a total of 534 straws. And so in this particular case, by laying it out in this fashion, I'm going to simply be able to add on to get to that total. And so I'm going to start with my ones and I'm going to build up. And when I look at my ones, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 straws here. But to add the 8 and then something else, I obviously can't get 4. So this isn't 4, this is actually 14. And so what I need to do is I need to add 6 straws to get from 8 up to 14 using a number line. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And there's my 14. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at my tens values. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here, I've only got 2 left. So I know, again, to go from 7 to 2, that's not happening. So in reality, it's actually 12. To go from 7 to 12 tells me 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so I know that I have 5 or 50 in this case to get up to that 12. And then finally, I've got 1, 2, 3, and I got to get up to 4. So I only have to add 1 to bring from 3 up to 4. And so in this particular case, I know that my answer is going to be 156 would be the answer to this problem. If I wanted to check my answer, yes, absolutely. I could go back and I could do my algorithm method where I'm going to take my 254 and let's put my 124 there. And I think in this particular case, I'm going to add them together and then I'm going to subtract. And so I have my 8, I have my 7, I have my 3, and now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to subtract that. 3, 7, 8. And I gotta borrow from here. And I'm gonna have to borrow from here. Get that turned into a 14. So 14 minus 8 is 6. 12 minus 7 is 5. And 4 minus 3 is 1. And so, yes, I confirmed that I actually got my 156 once again. And if you notice, if you remember from our demonstration, look at the numbers that I actually dealt with. Well, that's exactly what I did, even within working with my manipulatives, is I changed that 4 up to the 14. I had changed my the 3, I guess. The 3 had actually changed into the 12. And then finally that 5 had changed into the 4 with the borrowing that I had done. So I actually used the exact same method, just did it using manipulatives instead of an algorithm. So I hope that helps you understand in terms of what the MathUp program is all about and looking at it in a different way and recognizing addition and subtraction truly are the same thing. It all falls under additive reasoning. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you later.